Hello. Today I'm going to go underneath my camper to tell you about a problem I had with the leveling system on this Class C motorhome. This is a Jayco Melbourne 29D 2015, and it came with a leveling system. Well, what happened was we were out camping and my wife happened to spot, because of the way the camper was positioned, she was able to see underneath just from standing down below. She noticed this unit right here kind of hanging down. She says, "What's that? Why is that thing showing? Is that normal?" I said, "Don't worry about it. There's nothing wrong." So I decided to go underneath and look anyway. And I'll be darned. This bracket right here that's holding this thing on, this is what holds this whole unit on here. Okay, here's a decent look at it. Here's the pump. Here's some valves. And here's the reservoir, hydraulic oil reservoir. And each of them pump to these jacks that you see back there. That's the back two. And there are the front two up there. Pump that oil to it. What happened is this bracket right here busted. Okay, it was, before I had it fixed, this was just an L-shaped bracket right here, holding this whole thing up, and this is pretty heavy. Okay, so it had some movement to it, and I'll explain what I did here a little bit later. But it had, a little bit of vibration. We've got about 50,000 miles on this thing. Well, the darn thing snapped right back in here. So what happened is, luckily, this thing just tilted like this, and it was hanging down on this part. This part of the bracket was resting against this, plus the hydraulic lines, which are really pretty strong, were kind of holding it so it didn't fall out and go ripping out behind the vehicle and potentially hitting somebody even behind us. So we found a welder in town where we were in Ridgway, Colorado, and he fixed this bracket for us. He flipped it around, recapped the end, put on an angled support here, which it didn't have before, added another bolt because they had actually skipped the bolt. You can see a bolt right up in there. It bolts through this frame. Well, there was only one bolt. Okay, there's the top of it. There was only one bolt on that, so he added an extra bolt. But we then found that the hydraulic line was busted, one of them, probably from rubbing a little minor hole in it, or rubbing spot in it. And eventually, when I was trying to jack the thing up for him to get underneath and look, it ruptured it, so he had no way to fix it. I'll save you some time. Just go to the manufacturer, EQ Systems it's called, and actually right there, Equalizer Systems, that's upside down, I know, but that's part of the leveling system right there. That's the most likely the sensor that uses to treat as level, and you can zero that actually. But anyhow, that line had busted, this one right here. You can see which one looks really nice and new there. It's right in the front on this side. So I traced it, and this line went all the way along this frame to the front. And it came to the top part of this jack. And there it is right there. There's the new one. I took it out and measured it. It's the 14 footer. They got all these different increments you can order in 2-foot increments rather. You know, 8, 10, 12, 14, and had to order it from them and was able to get that fixed. I wanted to point out something that I've done here. I've got this jacked up so I can slide underneath it real easily, and I did a lot of other stuff while I've been under here. One thing I wanted to note was I also have a couple of 2 jack stands underneath this portion and 2 underneath the back in case these jacks were to fail or something. Don't ever crawl underneath your vehicle without using something like that. Any vehicle, in fact. They're not that expensive. Go out and get 4 of them and be safe. All right, now to make things a little bit better for this, hopefully for the future, is I took some Romex wire that I've always got on hand, and I use it like a big twist tie. I put it around through the frame there, and I just twisted it and used a good set of pliers, big pliers, and twisted this baby tight and gave that some extra support. So when we're driving down all the roads we drive down, because we drive down some pretty bad ones sometimes, but then you can be on roads that are supposed to be good and they're still bad. So it's really bumpy out here, and these things are like driving in a potato wagon or something when you're riding down the road. Sometimes they're not all that. You can't drive down washboarded roads very fast. So they're just very jarring sometimes. So I did this just to give it a little extra support. So hopefully this helps somebody. Got any questions, just ask. Thanks.